Dinar Shift, the global financial landscape is suddenly witnessing a development that has long been anticipated by a dedicated community, a headline carrying a magnitude of historic significance for Iraqi Dinar, IQD and Vietnamese Dong of VND holders worldwide. After decades marked by persistent speculation, quiet anticipation, and unwavering patience, reports are circulating with increased intensity that a critical threshold has finally been crossed. The term resonating through specialized financial circles is the alleged official activation of Tier 4B. This pivotal claim suggests that the long-awaited revaluation process has reportedly transitioned from being a theoretical discussion confined to online forums and private reports into a verifiable, actively unfolding financial reality. For millions within this unique community, this moment represents the potential culmination of years of dedicated research and profound, enduring belief in a global economic shift. Adding substantial weight and a visible timeline to this alleged revelation is the news that a global celebration event is reportedly scheduled for September 2025. This proposed date, combined with the activation claim, signals to the community that the promised movement toward international financial realignment is no longer an abstract concept, but a process now actively in motion. From the inner sanctums of private banking circles to the vast networks of large international financial institutions, the echoes of this momentous event are reportedly being felt and acknowledged across continents. What was once dismissed as improbable is now allegedly taking concrete form, drawing together seasoned investors, economic observers, and ordinary currency holders under a single, shared moment of hope and personal validation as the long journey toward revaluation enters its most critical and visible operational phase. For over 20 years, the concept of a massive, synchronized currency revaluation has persisted primarily in the realm of hopeful projections and specialized online discourse. Communities of currency holders, comprised of everyday people from nearly every corner of the world, have spent years in meticulous analysis, dissecting central bank updates, tracking the slightest shifts in government policy, and cross-referencing insider reports to gauge when, or if, this rumored transformation would materialize. The announcement confirming the alleged activation of Tier 4B has consequently sent a palpable shockwave through these tightly knit circles, immediately replacing a long period of uncertainty with a wave of tangible, focused excitement. While previous claims of imminent action have often proven ephemeral, leading to cycles of skepticism and holder fatigue, this time the underlying narrative is being framed differently by community sources. The key element distinguishing this reported development from past speculation is the claimed operational alignment of major institutional players. Multiple banking institutions and trusted financial intermediaries are reportedly in the process of harmonizing their intricate internal systems, implementing highly specific exchange protocols, and undertaking extensive preparations to accommodate what is anticipated to be a significant, coordinated wave of private currency redemptions. This claimed level of institutional readiness is interpreted as the essential factor that separates this event from all previous unverified rumors. Sources indicate that specialized exchange centers have completed all required system testing, comprehensive compliance mechanisms have been formally finalized, and coordination between vast domestic and international banking networks is said to be operating at an unprecedented, all-time high. The implicit message being conveyed, both through direct reports and indirect institutional behavior, is clear: the protracted period of waiting is finally over. What initially began as a theoretical idea circulated among small, niche investor groups is now reportedly a topic resonating with palpable weight throughout the global financial system's operational layers. Within the dedicated revaluation circles, the designation Tier 4B has evolved into a concept of near-legendary status. It refers to the final category of exchange, often described with reverence as the people's tier, encompassing the individuals, families, and smaller investment collectives who, over the years, chose to hold the revaluation-eligible currencies like the Iraqi Dinar and the Vietnamese Dong, staking their hope on economic and geopolitical reforms, triggering a reset in value. The prior tiers in this alleged procedural sequence reportedly involved high-level government entities, global humanitarian funds, and vast international financial consortia, each sequentially playing a role in the initial, less visible stages of the monetary adjustment. Tier 4B, however, represents the culmination and the start of the public facing redemption phase, the crucial point where average citizens, rather than large-scale institutions, become direct participants in this alleged event. According to the latest confirmations circulating from what are described as credible and verified sources, major global banks have now received their final operational directives. The sophisticated exchange infrastructures have been fully tested and officially approved for activation. Digital security protocols are fully implemented, and high-capacity call centers have been prepared to manage an unprecedented volume of redemption appointments. For many external observers and internal participants, this verifiable level of logistical and technical readiness marks the critical demarcation line between mere rumor and undeniable reality. The collective anticipation now surrounding the activation of Tier 4B symbolizes much more than simply a financial opportunity. It embodies a deeper, shared sentiment. This sentiment is rooted in the hope that transparency, fairness, and true inclusion are finally being extended to the tenacious community of holders who maintain their conviction when few outside their circles understood or believed. This psychological aspect of validation is as powerful as the alleged financial mechanics driving the news cycle within the community. Amidst the high-stakes excitement and swirling speculation, a single specific calendar date has forcefully emerged as particularly significant: October 20th, 2025. This date is reportedly gaining rapid attention across various economic watch lists and investor platforms as the anticipated potential culmination point of the entire Tier 4B process. Analysts within the community suggest that this specific day may represent the moment of formal public acknowledgement of the revaluation, the final surge of private exchanges, or the precise instant when the new international exchange rates are made visible across the world's major financial systems and trading platforms. Regardless of the exact operational trigger, October 20th is being positioned as a date poised to become a significant turning point in modern economic history, one that, if the claims hold true, may fundamentally redefine how specific global currencies are valued, traded, and perceived. Already, institutional bodies in regions as diverse as the Middle East, Southeast Asia, Europe, and North America are reportedly aligning their sophisticated financial software and complex liquidity management systems in preparation for this seismic shift. Central banks and international organizations are described as monitoring these specific developments with extraordinary closeness, fully aware that even a modest ripple from a revaluation could carry vast, cascading implications for global trade balances, investment flows, and international debt restructuring agreements. The pervasive and shared sense of strategic coordination and clear purpose surrounding the October date lends palpable weight to the community claims, affirming the belief that the long-promised event is no longer merely speculative, but imminent and logistically prepared for. For the millions of private currency holders, this single date now crystallizes years of anticipation, representing hope, a profound sense of vindication, and the definitive beginning of a long-awaited new economic chapter. The news cycle continues to be fueled by the intersection of these claims and the deep personal investment of the community. The broader meaning of this development extends far beyond the technical process of a currency exchange. The entire revaluation movement, having been sustained for decades by a global community of grassroots individuals, represents a rare example of global unity driven not by the formal edicts of governments or the strategies of large corporations, but by ordinary people bound together through powerful shared belief and immense persistence. The rumored planned global celebration event, already a topic of widespread discussion across multiple platforms, is expected to serve as a communal reflection, highlighting stories of patience, financial diligence, and enduring faith in positive, systemic change. Community observers note that such a coordinated event also carries profound symbolic weight, acting as a collective recognition that the fundamental nature of global economics can evolve in ways that actively empower ordinary people, rather than solely benefiting entrenched institutions. Whether this event manifests through virtual broadcasts, highly coordinated local gatherings, or major international venues, its primary aim is to affirm the community's conviction that the world is allegedly entering a new age where transparency and equitable access to financial opportunity will define the next stage of global finance and development. For the millions of individuals who have diligently followed the stories of the Iraqi Dinar and Vietnamese Dong from their very beginning, this moment serves not just as a financial milestone, but as a deeply personal and collective victory. It is regarded as proof that sustained commitment, hope, and responsible preparation can finally converge to create a lasting, transformative change on a worldwide scale, defying years of external skepticism and financial isolation. The convergence of these factors creates a gripping narrative that drives continuous engagement. Two distinct national currencies now stand firmly at the absolute center of this alleged global financial transformation: the Iraqi Dinar IQD and the Vietnamese Dong VND. Their respective economic stories are vastly different, yet they are deeply intertwined through a shared, community-driven narrative of undervaluation, national reconstruction, and economic awakening. Iraq, a nation richly endowed with some of the world's largest proven reserves of oil, natural gas, and mineral wealth, has long possessed the foundational potential for robust, widespread national prosperity. However, this inherent potential was systematically undermined by decades of conflict, international sanctions, internal corruption, and political turbulence, which collectively kept its currency artificially weak and severely detached from the nation's true economic capability and wealth. Over recent years, verifiable, documented progress has been made by Iraq in rebuilding its democratic institutions, enhancing crucial fiscal transparency, and aggressively modernizing its energy and trade policies. With foreign partnerships expanding rapidly and its international recognition steadily increasing, the underlying economic groundwork for a meaningful, structural revaluation appears to be both credible and demonstrably measurable. Meanwhile, Vietnam presents a contrasting yet complementary success story. It is a nation whose steady, spectacular manufacturing growth, massive inflows of foreign direct investment, and rapidly growing global trade influence have powerfully elevated it into a position as one of Asia's most dynamic and modern economies. The Vietnamese Dong has historically remained systematically undervalued, a policy partly maintained to sustain its export competitiveness, but that economic model is now actively evolving and shifting. Together, the purported joint confirmation of IQD and VND revaluation signals a dual currency realignment that, if realized, could fundamentally redefine not only major regional markets, but also reshape global perceptions of monetary balance and development potential across the entire spectrum of emerging global economies. The precise selection of October 20th, 2025, as the pivotal date for the formal celebration and alleged implementation of the revaluation is presented as being both strategically deliberate and deeply symbolic. Complex financial systems, especially those operating across multiple international jurisdictions, depend on strictly predictable cycles tied to fiscal year closings, official settlement schedules, and quarterly or annual reporting structures. Choosing a date deep within the final quarter of the year reportedly allows major institutions to efficiently synchronize rate adjustments, massive liquidity movements, and essential accounting reforms with minimal systemic disruption to the global market. Community sources within banking and government circles suggest that this early autumn period represents the optimal window for seamlessly integrating the updated currency values into the existing global financial databases, thereby enabling a smooth, secure transition across all major trading platforms and exchange mechanisms. For Iraq specifically, the reported alignment with the official Gazette's publication calendar, the nation's legally recognized medium for enacting legislative and regulatory announcements, is said to add a crucial layer of legal validation and necessary international transparency to the process. Economically, both Iraq and Vietnam are reportedly entering high-confidence phases. Iraq's consistent, massive oil-driven surpluses are substantially reinforcing its fiscal stability, while Vietnam's ongoing surge in manufacturing exports and sustained inflows of foreign capital continue to rapidly strengthen its overall balance of payments. The timing of October 20th, therefore, is interpreted as reflecting a broader, strategic synchronization of both nations' measurable national progress with the overall state of global institutional readiness. Far from being arbitrary, the designated date embodies a strategic convergence, meticulously designed to maximize the economic impact while simultaneously ensuring structural integrity across the global financial system. Across the extensive global financial landscape, seasoned analysts and respected voices are reportedly beginning to articulate the true magnitude of what the alleged Tier 4B activation represents. Their insights highlight not only the immediate, complex economic implications, but also the deeper symbolic meaning behind these long-anticipated developments for the community. Dr. Karim al-Sojudani, a veteran Iraqi economist and policy advisor, is cited in reports as describing the dinar's revaluation as a powerful economic and psychological restoration, one that firmly reaffirms Iraq's rightful and sovereign place among the community of strong global economies, signaling the end of a decades-long struggle for fiscal credibility and autonomy in its financial governance. Professor Liam Tran, a Hanoi-based strategist and academic observer, is reported to characterize the Vietnamese Dong as a hidden powerhouse whose historical undervaluation deliberately masked an economy rich in innovation, industrial discipline, and tremendous export capacity. He notes that Vietnam's strategic and active participation in major trade frameworks and its established partnerships with leading global manufacturers have more than prepared its currency for this significant normalization event. Meanwhile, John Peterson, an American banking insider and systems consultant, is cited for stressing that Tier 4B's confirmed activation represents the definitive final operational green light that banks have been anticipating for years, confirming that infrastructure readiness and coordinated liquidity strategies now ensure a smooth and orderly process for all participants. Collectively, these expert perspectives, as reported within the community, converge around one powerful message: the revaluation is presented as genuine, comprehensively coordinated, and actively unfolding within a meticulously designed framework intended to maximize stability, legitimacy, and international confidence. The consistency of this internal messaging, regardless of its official verifiability outside the community, profoundly reinforces the narrative's credibility among its dedicated audience. For the millions of private currency holders around the world, the reported confirmation of Tier 4B and the movement toward official revaluation symbolizes much more than a mere change in numbers on an exchange screen. It represents the profound turning of a life chapter that many have quietly, privately envisioned and planned for across years. Families and individuals across continents have held onto their Iraqi Dinar and Vietnamese Dong, guided by a potent mix of faith, extensive research, and relentless perseverance. For some, this moment carries the promise of long-sought financial independence, the ability to extinguish major debts, fully fund education, or achieve secure retirement after years of disciplined holding. For others, this event represents the potential to create generational wealth, enabling strategic investments in small businesses, local housing philanthropy, and community development projects that can uplift entire neighborhoods. Yet, alongside this intense optimism, financial experts and legal authorities are issuing strong and necessary reminders to remain extremely cautious. Times of major, transformative opportunity inevitably attract opportunists and scammers who frequently promise early access, exclusive rates, or insider shortcuts to bypass formal banking processes in exchange for upfront payment or personal data. Such fraudulent offers are universally discredited and should be ignored without exception. Holders are strictly advised to rely solely on authorized financial institutions and verified redemption centers once the official notifications are released through secure, confirmed communication channels. No legitimate organization will ever request confidential personal information or demand funds outside of regulated banking processes. In these crucial, high-stakes weeks, prudence, patience, and strict attention to verified guidance are the best and only safeguards for those preparing to participate in this unprecedented economic event. Emotional decisions made in haste often lead to regret. Thoughtful decisions, made with clear understanding and professional consultation, lead to stability and security. Within the United States, reports and insider confirmations strongly point to a heightened level of readiness across major financial institutions, reflecting years of preparation for the potential of high-volume IQD and VND exchanges. Banking giants, including names like Wells Fargo, JP Morgan Chase, HSBC, and Bank of America, have reportedly conducted extensive internal simulations and rigorous system tests designed to ensure absolute operational stability once the official redemption protocols are fully activated. These exercises have allegedly encompassed everything from core transaction software and sophisticated cybersecurity defenses to enhanced customer service training, compliance verification, and fraud prevention systems across the board. Furthermore, specialized, high-security redemption sites, engineered to handle high-volume currency exchanges discreetly and efficiently, are said to be in the final stages of logistical preparation. Banking personnel involved in these specific operations have undergone enhanced confidentiality training to ensure absolute client privacy, while regulatory agencies maintain strict oversight to guarantee full adherence to all anti-money, laundering, and know-your-customer standards. This extensive infrastructure reportedly underscores that the impending rollout is being treated not as a rumor or a mere side project, but as a structured, professionally coordinated financial event of global significance. Analysts within the community interpret this profound depth of preparation as a clear signal of genuine institutional seriousness and robust inter-agency collaboration. For the currency holders, this alleged readiness means that when official notifications are finally issued, the entire process is expected to be organized, secure, and fully compliant with all national and international banking regulations, ensuring that participants can proceed with confidence and clarity at every step of the transaction. This focus on verifiable institutional readiness provides a powerful narrative hook for the community. Even before the official public launch, subtle yet undeniable ripples are reportedly being observed across the international financial markets. Analysts monitoring early indicators report heightened volatility and a pervasive sense of anticipation as traders, institutions, and governments quietly prepare for the full implications of the Iraqi Dinar and Vietnamese Dong revaluation. Forex platforms have allegedly recorded record-breaking engagement levels, with discussion threads, prediction charts, and speculative modeling reaching historic highs, reflecting a surge of participation that signals a growing acknowledgement that something significant is indeed unfolding. In the commodities arena, oil prices have reportedly stabilized in a manner consistent with renewed global confidence in Iraq's economic and political trajectory, while gold prices have remained remarkably steady, a traditional indicator of stability rather than widespread market fear. Across Asia, Vietnam's key trading partners are quietly revising contracts and recalibrating export margins in anticipation of a stronger dong. Financial think tanks are beginning to describe this as a monetary watershed moment, signaling that the revaluation narrative has transitioned from rumor into an acknowledged driver of global sentiment, with markets actively repositioning themselves for a potentially fundamentally different economic landscape. Behind every currency note of Iraqi dinar or Vietnamese dong lies a deeply personal human story, a narrative woven through years of belief, personal sacrifice, and quiet endurance. For many holders, this journey began decades ago, sparked by whispers of opportunity and the powerful hope that global restructuring could one day restore fairness to undervalued currencies. Over the years, these individuals faced profound skepticism, criticism, and long stretches of uncertainty. Yet, they persisted, studying economic data, following geopolitical developments, and maintaining faith in a future that few outside their circles understood. Today, as official confirmations and institutional movements reportedly lend credibility to what was once dismissed as fringe speculation, that extraordinary perseverance is finally being vindicated. This event, if confirmed, stands not only as a landmark in complex financial history, but also as a powerful human triumph, a collective testament to resilience and deep conviction. For some, the revaluation represents liberation from financial struggle. For others, it is the ultimate validation of a lifelong commitment to research and hope. Regardless of the individual outcome, participants are now part of a chapter that will undoubtedly be recorded in future economic history books. The global community of IQD and VND holders has evolved beyond a simple investment group. It has become a movement defined by patience, faith, and the shared belief that fundamental transformation, however long delayed, is always possible for those who never stop believing. As a final word of guidance, while the confirmation of Tier 4B and the growing wave of financial activity are certainly reasons for optimism, this remains a moment for level-headed discernment and personal responsibility. Dinar Shift reminds all viewers that the information presented is for informational and educational purposes only and should never be interpreted as financial advice. The long-awaited moment has finally arrived. Tier 4B is reportedly confirmed, and with it, the alleged revaluation of the Iraqi Dinar's IQD and Vietnamese Dong VND. What was once dismissed as rumor has evolved into a tangible reality, supported by coordinated institutional readiness and credible confirmations from financial sectors around the world. The timeline for celebration and activation has been defined, marking a significant turning point in modern economic history. For millions of ordinary holders, this represents the culmination of a journey defined by belief and endurance, a moment where persistence meets proof. Across online forums, local gatherings, and private investment circles, there is a shared, profound recognition that a long chapter of waiting is definitively closing and a new one is actively being written in real time. Yet, even as excitement builds, the urgent call remains for responsible preparation. Gather your documents, confirm your information, follow only official communications, and remain vigilantly alert against misinformation. The energy that sustained this movement for so many years must now transform into disciplined action, guided by prudence and purpose. This is not merely a financial milestone, it is the living embodiment of history in motion. The alleged revaluation of the IQD and VND will not only influence bank ledgers and exchange screens, it will send powerful reverberations through households, communities, and nations. It marks the beginning of renewed trust in the potential of emerging economies and serves as a powerful validation of the countless individuals who refuse to surrender their vision. What was once viewed as an improbable dream has now entered the realm of unfolding reality. For the countless holders who have studied, researched, and patiently waited, this is a deeply personal victory, one that transcends simple numbers and balance sheets. As the alleged global celebration approaches, one powerful truth echoes above all else: the future is no longer distant. It is here, alive and actively beginning to take shape. In every sense, this reported moment stands as a profound testament to hope realized and destiny fulfilled. Remain hopeful, remain wise, and above all, remain ready, for the new financial dawn long imagined is not a promise deferred, but a present reality now unfolding before the world's eyes.